Giles Thomas here from muscledevelopment.com. We're here at Muscleworks, Bethnal Green, London. I'm here with one of my all-time favourite British bodybuilders, IFBB professional, now retired, JD Dawodu. JD, it's fantastic to see you, mate. Pleasure as always.
Likewise.
Obviously, a lot of the fans will probably know who you are. Obviously, you had a very quite illustrious pro career from 96 to 2003, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's
showing off now.
Yeah. Okay, I know you're a bit of a sort of a anorak when it comes to all the bodybuilding paraphernalia and so.
Kerry Kay's going to be Rain Man last week. So if I'm Rain Man, does that make you Tom Cruise, Kerry?
Yeah.
Anyway, you turned pro in 1992.
That's correct. Yeah, 92 to 93. Yeah.
One thing I always wondered, why did you take? What was it, 4 years before you actually did your first pro show, the Night of Champions, in '96?
I think it was a question of back then. It was I was always leaving it a few years before I actually came back to the mainstream and doing another show. When I won the light heavies in '89, I still left it yet again I didn't do any shows until more or less '92 again, until I won the obviously the heavyweights. Got my pro card, and it was the same sort of thing. I wanted to make the sort of necessary adjustments to try and come back before I came on the pro scene again.
You did make a big impact that year because you came 7th that year. But you were actually invited to the Olympia that year, weren't you? But you didn't do it, yet you did the British Grand Prix. I always wonder why that was.
Oh, God, going back a while now.
A special invite, didn't you? Wayne D'Amelio gave you a special invite to the 1996 Mr. Olympia, yet you didn't take it, but you did the British Grand Prix following the Olympia and took 7th there to some, well, the biggest names.
Yeah, thinking back at that time, I think it was more of a question of I wanted to see just qualify by right. I think it was a question of that as opposed to just sort of coming in by an invite, and so it was at the time it was a decision which I felt was the right thing to do, and so I stick by it.
And in your second pro show, you still beat guys like Jean-Pierre Fuchs.
Yeah.
Was it 96? I mean, I think you beat Charlie as well, the Charles Clement that year as well.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, Clement is a legend at his best. I mean, he was one of the best bodybuilders ever. So I mean, you don't, as you go going through over the years of competing, it's you can only really gauge it by when you're against your competitors about whether they're in shape or not. I don't really think. I mean, I've beaten quite a few people, and quite a few people have beaten me. I think it's more a question of the legacy they leave. People like Claremont, in my opinion, was good enough possibly to go and win an Olympia. So that in itself is meaningless, really.
I think it was 2002 when you. I don't think you got the placings you deserve. I think that particular year, I'm sure it was 2002, where I think you went against Farah and some other guys. Was that?
Yeah, was it 2 or 3? I think it may have been 2002. Yeah, we did. It was in I think back in Texas, and I think they split the show over the weekend. And the opinion I got from the first day, obviously from my peers, it was like, "Oh, you're clearly in front." And then obviously by the time it came to the second day, I just sort of seemed to slip down the rankings. But it's one of those things I don't really ponder on it. Obviously, I was disappointed at the time, and speaking to one or two of the judges, what made it stand a little bit more strange. It was more a question of when you're given excuses, oh, you're not so well known, and this, that, and the other. But I don't cry about things like that. Everything's for a reason, I
remember in obviously 2001 you did the Olympia. I was there, and I remember you walked into the hotel, and I think I was the first person you saw. You went, familiar face. I think we went for breakfast, and I think I remember you cleared the table.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was your last meal, I think, before you went on stage, I think. And
yeah, possibly. That's
all the other Muscleworks boys arrived.
Yeah, it's probably a long time ago.
I remember it well, mate.
Yeah. No, it was a good experience, as all of the sort of travelling over to the States and going with an entourage. A lot of guys kindly came over to support me, and other guys as well. So, it was the whole, it gave me opportunity. I went all over America, I went to Australia, Hungary. He was just sometimes he was just like I was like Alan Wicker, just air miles.
Where did you're training hard. You hinted the last time I came down, a couple of times I came down ago, you hinted that you might be wanting to do a Masters Pro show.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for sort of people I need some motivation.
Grand Prix?
Go speak to someone like Eddie Abu, tell him to get out of his wheelchair, and I might go.
Wheelchair?
Yeah. So I don't know, Sarah, because I'm training, keeping myself in good shape, and just keeping a close eye on what's going on. In the meantime, obviously, I'm supporting people like Ian, it's good to see him back on it again, you know, and I think he's going to probably be trying to get out to the States in the summer, and we're obviously going to try and go out and support him as well. Yeah. But, yeah.
One thing, JD, is in 1999... Yeah. You were getting ready for the Night of Champions. And back then, I came to do a photo shoot with you for a British magazine, a British publication, and you were the first professional I'd ever photographed. Okay. And up till that point, up till that day when I came...
If I got an envelope for that, I don't think so. Did I, Giles? I don't know. It wasn't forthcoming, but never mind. Carry on.
But up to that point, I always thought that there was very little difference between the top amateurs and professionals. And it was when I saw you that I realised there's actually quite a big gap between the professionals and the amateurs, because it was like looking at something completely different. You know, I've seen hundreds of bodybuilders, but that was one thing I've always wanted to say to you. It just really blew my mind.
Thanks for that.
I think that was the year that you were getting prepped by someone who wanted to bring you in lighter. I think he dropped 10-15 pound if you to bring you in lighter.
I remember that year I came in a little bit light, and
13th or 12th.
Yeah, too light, but I hadn't done anything for a while. The next year I went back, and that's when I was more or less myself, 2000 and 2001, and that's when I started making a big impact in the States. But it was, you know, it's... you know, obviously you've been, over the years now, you've been seeing it. It's that getting the size is not necessarily the problem, it's the intricate detail.
Quality.
Yeah, you have to get the intricate detail, and that comes from obviously time, and it's certain training, not just training heavy, just breaking down the muscle, acknowledging your weak points, and having the ability to try and change that and rectify them, you know? I
think when you turned pro in '92, I think that was... it was a supplement advert they used that photo in, you know, the one where you're doing the hands, hip, muscular. And that was when I realised that, you know, that you just don't have to, like you said, you don't just have to have size, you have to, like the freaky separation in your arms was absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
I think we've lost that now a little bit.
No, I don't know. I mean, yeah, thinking back on that year when I won it, I think I was possibly one of the smallest guys there, because I mean I was against some big, like Basil, Francis, Linky, Wilson, Rhino, I think Ian as well. There's some big guys. That was a bit of a naughty lineup. That was Mick Theo. There's a few years. It was a crazy lineup.
Yeah, Mick Theo chucked his trophy.
Yeah, you've got to have adventure and drama with it.
Yeah, love it. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, you work hard on those things, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily missing now. I think with the advent of this sub 200 pound class,
212, yeah.
Sorry, 212 class, you've obviously got Flex and Sean as well. And I don't think anybody could say that they're lacking in quality muscle at all. I mean, those guys, they've come on leaps and bounds. You know, they're definitely carrying the torch.
Sean is actually Joseph Tavernier is one bodybuilder that's been likened to yourself. When he came on the scene, they said he's another JD. He's another JD. You know?
No, I mean he's surpassed me. I think he's got limitless potential as well.
I filmed him last week actually.
Yeah. I've seen him. You know, he's gradually come up, and it's hard work, tenacity, and just having a goal and just stubbornly going for it. You know, and hopefully he will get there in the end. I'm sure he will. Yeah.
Well, JD.
We're finished already.
Yeah, well, well, we're going to get chucked out the gym now because they're shutting up, and I think they're giving us the evil looks now. So I think we better go. Well, JD,
all the best.
It's been a pleasure,
all the best to the fans out there. You might see me, you might not. I don't know. I need a little bit of inspiration.
We're going to get him in the Masters Pro. Sorry, they're calling it the Masters Olympia again.
Okay, yeah, they're calling it OAP Pro, but I'll be there. Yeah, with my free bus pass.
There you have it.
Take it easy, fella.
With JD, I'm Giles Thomas from Muscledevelopment.com.